everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create this autumn air layout using the Close to My Art Hawthorne and Mix-In products. Let's start with the title. Today I'm using the Autumn Air Stamp of the Month to create the title. This stamp set is only available during the month of October on my website. I will be stamping the title onto vellum and then heat embossing the letters for a raised look. To prevent excess static, I will rub an anti-static bag onto the vellum before I stamp. I will be using white pigment ink for the top portion of my title. After adding ink, I will stamp the image onto vellum, and then I will sprinkle with white embossing powder. After removing the excess powder, I will heat the image with a heat gun. This creates the raised image as the powder sets. Now I will create the second part of the title using saffron ink. This is a dye-based ink. Since I am stamping it on vellum, I will use clear embossing powder to set the image. Most inks will not set on vellum and they will smear. By using a heat embossing powder, you can prevent this from happening. Once again, I will apply embossing powder onto the image, remove the excess, and then use a heat tool to set the embossing powder. You will know that the heat tool has done its job when the image starts to raise and the powder becomes glossy. To create the border on my layout, I use these layered leaves thin cut dies. I cut the images from both patterned paper and cardstock, layered the cutouts, and then I added them to my layout. As you can see, I stitched the leaves onto the sapphire cardstock to create the border for my layout. I'm layering Hawthorne paper with some craft cardstock to create the background, and then I will start to add my photos. Before adding my photos, I realized that I wanted a border on this paper, so I trimmed the Hawthorne sticker border, added it to the paper, and then trimmed it. I had debated between adding the sticker border or adding more stitching. I think I like the sticker border more. Now I can attach the background paper to my layout and decide how I'm going to lay out my photos. I knew that I wanted one of the stitched rectangle borders around my photo. I love the sangria color and thought it would go well with the layout. After trimming the photo, I realized I wanted to embellish the frame with some of those layered leaves, so I added those using some liquid glass. You'll see that I saved this other portion of leaves for another part of the layout. I don't throw very many of my scraps away. I chose to add a little sentiment to this frame from the Hawthorne compliments using some 3D foam tape. I really like the look of these craft colored compliments. Now I can decide on the placement of my photos and my title. From here, you can just watch what I do to create the layout all the way to the end. I'm going to stop here for a minute and explain to you how I attach the vellum title. I started by using a tri-blend marker to shade some white dots so that they matched my layout. I will be placing the white dots into the corners of the vellum title. My plan is then to add liquid glass behind the dots and behind portions of the title so that the adhesive doesn't show through. I'm adding a few more of those craft colored complements, and then I will use the liquid glass to adhere my title. As you can see, I'm adding it behind portions of the title where the adhesive won't show through the vellum. Hope you were inspired by today's layout. I can't wait to see what you create.